Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking out another video. We are once again starting off in front of the EG4 solar hybrid heat pump. This is a 12,000 BTU AC heat pump that can run directly on solar panels for those of you that are not up to speed. And in today's video, I'm been a little curious as to what components are inside this thing. Being a rebrand, I just want to have a look inside and see if there's any familiar components to North American mini splits. So we're going to shut the power off. I'm going to show you how to tear this thing down and have a quick look inside. We're not going to go too crazy, nothing that would void the warranty. Just going to pop off a few panels and take a quick peek. So all you need to get into the top half of this is a Phillips screwdriver, maybe a little ratchet and an adapter if you've put it up against the wall like I did. And just like that, we're in. 5 screws and the hood is off. So this is going to be my first look inside. Obviously on this side, we have the input connections. We have the MC4s right here. Down below, we have the 120 volt input. Looks like a double row coil on this thing. This is the inverter board for the compressor, and this is the MPPT for the solar. So you wouldn't normally see anything on this side on a normal mini split, but this one obviously being a solar hybrid, we have that additional board. We have the reversing valve down here. That's about all I can see, so I'm going to pop this front cover off and we'll take a better look. So it looks like we have these 2 tabs here, just like any standard mini split. We just need to lift and pull. And just like that, we are in. Now this whole front panel comes off as one piece, which is actually kind of nice. Usually you don't have that. Just 2 more of those same tabs on this side. And there we go. First look at the guts. So over here we have a nice big heat sink for the MPPT. This sits right in the path of the fan, so all the air being pulled through the condenser coil is cooling off the MPPT as well. We do have one on the main board here as well. Pretty standard for the board to have a heat sink down here. Here's a better look at this coil. This is 2 individual coils stacked up and connected at the end. So you wouldn't want to wash this from the back. You'd want to wash this from inside, pushing everything out. If you wash it from the back, you could end up with dirt and junk stuck in between the 2 coils. Over time, it can add up and kind of cause you problems. This is the outdoor fan motor. This will be a 3-phase fan motor as well. There's a quick peek at the brand for anyone who's interested, but it's a 3-phase. That's how they modulate the speed on these. The board is capable of ramping them up and down. This is the main board, obviously. This is really the best look we're going to get at it because they put these upside down. This is actually the bottom of the board, so if I took that off, you really wouldn't see anything. Here's a good look at the schematic for anyone who's interested. If you see on the left in the dotted square, it says test port. That leads me to believe you could hook a diagnostic tool to this. And down here we have our compressor, obviously. It's wrapped in a sound deadening blanket. I'm going to pop that open and have a look at the brand, but first I'll show you everything else. So we have a little thermistor here. This is measuring discharge temperature off the compressor. Refrigerant comes down through this muffler, back up to the reversing valve. That looks like a pretty standard reversing valve, maybe a Sanhua. Pretty standard to a Midea product, like a Carrier. I'm guessing this is actually made by Midea out of China. So that valve is responsible for switching the direction of refrigerant, depending whether you are in heating or cooling mode. It's going to send hot gas either to the indoor coil or to the outdoor coil, depending on what you're asking it to do. So it's just got a little slide in there that can basically reverse the flow. Back here we have the metering device. This is our electronic expansion valve. It's wrapped in a little plastic blanket again. They can be pretty loud, so they do try to muffle them a little bit. I'm not going to get in and peel that off because it won't go back together nearly as nice as it is, so we're going to leave that alone. But we'll pop open this compressor blanket and have a look at the brand of the compressor. Not really sure what to expect. It's going to be a rotary 3-phase, obviously, but I don't know what the brand will be. So it looks like we have a Highly compressor. These are actually made by Hitachi. If you look really close, you can see it says DC 180 volts. So fairly standard compressor, actually. And then this is our accumulator right here. So we have 1 pipe in the top, 1 pipe out the bottom back to the suction side of the compressor. So basically this little tube actually extends all the way up towards the top here, so this thing can hold liquid refrigerant as the compressor ramps up and down through its different stages. You never want liquid refrigerant to enter the suction side of the compressor, so it's all stored right here, and the compressor can pick up vapor from the top as it needs it. And this board I'm not 100% certain on. It might just be a separate board for the relays. You can see 4 relays back there, so that just makes them a little bit more replaceable if one were to fail, or if it's a board that allows the 2 boards to communicate. So I have sent an email about that one. So overall, this is actually a pretty standard mini split. A lot of these parts are just off-the-shelf parts that I could source at most HVAC suppliers, which is nice to know if this thing ever went down, out of warranty. I can source most of these parts, and your local HVAC guy should be able to as well, other than the MPPT. Obviously, that's a bit of a standalone product, but I'm going to get this thing put back together. It's a hot day here, so we're going to get it back up and running, and we'll finish up the video. So going back together is just the opposite of coming apart. We need to hook these 2 tabs back into the slots. Come over to this side, line up these 2 tabs, give it a good little hit with the knee and a little push, and it drops right in. And just make sure you reattach the control board. These screws have to go in before you put the lid on, or you're going to have a couple leftovers. And just like that, we're back in one piece. This is a pretty standard mini split to take apart. You just need a Phillips screwdriver, maybe a little stubby or a ratchet. If you've put it against the wall like me, get the power turned back on. It's a pretty hot day here. You can see the sky's a little bit hazy today. Actually, the air quality is not too good. So we'll get it back up and running, let it cool the house off again. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I want to give a big shout out to Rob Bear. Rob's the first one to ever send me a YouTube super thanks, so big shout out to you, Rob. I didn't even know what that was until you sent me one, so thanks a lot.